A lot of people believe that they are avoiding pain by avoiding the truth, when really they are just extending it. I've been realizing that some of the most painful situations in life don't happen because people didn't know the truth. And a lot of the time, deep down, we already know. We know when something doesn't feel aligned anymore. We know when we're forcing a connection. We know when we're making excuses. We know when we are avoiding ourselves. But being honest with yourself is uncomfortable because it requires change. For example, if I'm talking to someone, but I know deep down that I'm not interested, but I keep entertaining it anyway, what do I think is gonna happen? That person is going to build a perception of the relationship because my actions are saying one thing, but my truth is not being said. And over time, resentment builds, tension builds, emotional distance starts building, and I do not have the capacity to handle this. So eventually when I pull away, it looks sudden to them, but in reality the situation was already emotionally ending long before it physically ended. I was just delaying honesty. I think people do this all the time because they just want to avoid discomfort in the moment. They don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. They don't want to look like the bad guy. So instead of dealing with the truth early, they drag situations out emotionally until it becomes heavier later. I don't even think this just applies to relationships, whether you're always procrastinating or making excuses of why you're not doing something with your life. How many times do we tell ourselves, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start working out tomorrow, maybe I'll do it next week. Meanwhile, we spend hours scrolling, avoiding, and negotiating with these excuses that we make for ourselves. Avoiding accountability is going to start creating internal conflict within yourself. Because when your actions stop aligning with what you know is true, you're going to start feeling disconnected from yourself. You know what you should be doing. You know what's draining you. You know what's unhealthy for you. But you continuously ignore your inner truth. We lie to ourselves to stay comfortable. I think a lot of people confuse comfort with peace, but comfort and peace are not the same thing. A lot of people stay emotionally attached to things that they have already mentally outgrew. And that creates suffering because your mind already knows the truth, but your actions are resisting it. Being honest with yourself has to be one of the hardest forms of honesty, because once you fully acknowledge something about yourself, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Once you admit to yourself, this relationship is not for me, this friendship doesn't align with me anymore, I'm avoiding discipline, I'm making excuses, I'm wasting my time. Now, you have to decide, are you gonna stay in denial or are you actually gonna change something? Self-awareness without action becomes self-destruction. I don't think people are always dishonest because they're malicious. A lot of people are scared. They're scared of change, scared of discomfort, scared of disappointing people and letting them go. But what I've realized is avoiding the truth usually creates more suffering than facing it in the beginning. Right now, I'm learning to be upfront and honest, not letting things prolong and not saying anything about it. Because the frustration that you're gonna have doesn't really necessarily come from other people. It's gonna come from you knowing the truth, but not expressing it. I be doing that to myself sometimes, and I be getting so angry. But then I sometimes gotta look back and ask myself, did I state this? Did I say anything? Or did I just let it happen? A lot of the times we just let things happen because we don't want to upset people. But what happens is that we become upset. Life is going to continue to move regardless. So if you spend every day making excuses for yourself, your life is just going to be a bunch of excuses. And you can't blame anybody else for the excuses that you put upon yourself. Because at this point, you can only make your life as good as you want it to be. Manifestation is not magic. Manifestation is only going to work because you are putting in the action. Don't rely on hope and manifesting if you're not doing anything along with it. Life doesn't work like that. I've done some things in my life where internally it was really giving me confliction, and I had to just put in the action, whether it's the outcome I want or not. Letting people go, but knowing that I'm following what I feel is best to do, then that's pretty important, because you don't want to ignore yourself. You don't want to ignore your feelings because you don't want to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable forever because that thing is always going to exist within you because it's something that you've never confronted. It's always going to be something on your mind, whether you run away from it. I believe one of the hardest conversations you're going to have is the one with yourself.